Let's break free from nice guy syndrome today. We're going live.
No.
We'll do it live.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. We made it to the end of another week. How the hell are you? My apologies. I know I'm like 10 minutes behind here. It's a winter wonderland outside, and I had to go drop my son off at high school, and the roads were trash. They were absolute trash. I'm driving like an old grandma, trying not to slide into oncoming traffic and stuff like that. It is red pill season. Paul's wearing a beanie. Yes, because it's winter time. That's the appropriate time to be wearing beanies, not in the middle of August in Phoenix, Arizona. That's just my opinion. Anyway, what's going on, guys? So I just finished my third reading of No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. Okay. And now I've said this before in the podcast. I actually like Dating Essentials for Men better. That's his second book. And I've read Dating Essentials for Men like a dozen times, right? But No More Mr. Nice Guy was probably the first book that I read in the space. And I liked it. And it was eye-opening for me. Just all my bad nice guy habits that I had that a majority of guys out there have. A majority of guys out there are nice guys. And it's just because we were raised that way. And Dr. Glover, if you go through the book, talks about how we've been raised as nice guys since World War II. After World War II, the dynamics of parenting and fathers in the household changed fundamentally. And, largely kids were raised by moms, and kids were chasing after mom's validation, and that ruined us. That ruined a couple of generations of men, and he says in the book, I think we're coming up on like our third generation of nice guys, right? So anyway, I read that book. Now the first two times I missed that he had all sorts of exercises on how to break free. Right now, the first part of the book focuses on stuff like toxic shame. And I never really thought that stuff applied to me. Right. So I tuned a lot of that out. Right. It's nothing wrong if you have felt toxic shame in the past. That's very normal. Okay. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't really raised with the mentality of toxic shame, but there's a lot of people, especially that are raised in very strict religions. They're raised that, sexuality, we're not at the 8-minute mark, sexuality is somehow bad, and so they feel shame for having natural biological urges, you know what I mean? So they have this toxic shame. Like, I never really felt that, right? Now other stuff definitely applied to me. Okay, deering is something that I still struggle with to this day, right? I'm not perfect. And anyone that says they're perfect is full of it. Okay. I still struggle with deering, but I catch myself more often than I used to. Okay. I was really bad at validation seeking behavior, right? If you guys had the insight or whatever, if you guys had access to my Facebook account, you see, how they have Facebook memories. You see the crap that I was posting like 10 years ago before I got into all this stuff. It's like, why are you posting this stuff, dude? You're posting for fake internet validation, and it's like, I've largely gotten over that. If you guys follow my personal Facebook account, right? Any of you guys out there that are my real friends, my real friends, follow me on my real Facebook account. I barely post on there anymore, right? All the stuff you see from me typically is for the podcast, which is really just marketing, so it's totally different. But my personal stuff, I don't post a lot of personal stuff anymore, right? I post things that I think matter, like maybe I get a picture with my kids at a family event. It's like, this is a good memory. I'm going to post this here, but I'm not posting it for external validation like I used to. a lot of the stuff that I used to post was just out of pure boredom and seeking validation, which is actually feminine behavior, right? So I used to struggle with that. I used to be a people pleaser. I would go out of my way to try to make sure that everyone liked me. Like I really wanted everybody to like me. And if people didn't like me, man, it was crushing my soul. Right. I would try to keep the peace, right? Men, we want our peace. We want women that bring us peace and stuff, right? I was that guy trying to keep the peace and avoid confrontation, right? That's nice guy behavior, right? That's nice guy behavior. You're trying to have a smooth life, and you're trying to do anything to keep, to not rock the boat, and that's all nice guy behavior, guys. Right? All right. So, several months ago, I was watching Red Evening. Yes, F trophies for clout. Exactly. Occasionally, you guys, if you guys followed me on TikTok, occasionally you'll see my kids on TikTok, right? Because my kids follow me on TikTok. They're on there all the time. And they're like, every once in a while, they're like, hey, Dad, can you make a TikTok with us? I'm sure. So I'll do that. And I have way more followers than my kids. So like sometimes I'll do stuff with them to, give them a little boost for clout. So it's for their clout, not for mine. And I have a pretty fun relationship with my kids, but I'm not blasting it all over the place. I learned that from Ryan Stone. Like that's not the best thing to do. So several months ago, I was watching Red Evening with Rob Says and Jack Napier. So shout out to Rob and Jack. And Rob brought up how important it is for guys to not only read No More Mr. Nice Guy, but to work on the exercises, right? And I was like, there were exercises? Like, what? There's exercises in there? And I was like, damn it, I guess it's time to read again, right? So, which is why we read books multiple times. There's a reason why I tell guys to read Corey Wayne's book 10 to 15 times. One, because he says it in the book. And the reason why he says it is because we only retain about 10% of what we read or listen to. So if you really want to master the information, you have to read something at least 10 to 15 times, if not more, right? So like I've read No More, or not No More Mr. Nice Guy, but Dating Essentials for Men a dozen times, right? I got that book down pretty good, but I'm going to keep reading it, right? I've read How to Be a 3% Man 21 times, right? So I was like, well, I missed all that stuff. So it's time to read it again, right? So if anyone ever is talking to you about a book and you're like, I don't remember that in the book, it's time to read it again. It's time to read it again, unless you just really hated that book, right? Let's see. What are you guys saying in this chat now? We have a lot. Let's see here. A lot of you guys have read the book. So I just started scrolling the text F you in my head at all times. That helps a lot. Yeah, I bet it does. So it turns out there are exercises in the book. There's about 46 exercises or so. And we're going to go through 10 or so of these today, right? Now, I highly recommend you guys read the book. You guys need to read the book, okay? Ryan Stone says that No More Mr. Nice Guy is the first book in Red Pill canon. The first book. A lot of guys think Rollo's material is. Nah. You got to read No More Mr. Nice Guy, okay? In fact, if you look at the Married Red Pill, subreddit, they have a sidebar of recommended information, okay? Now, it goes like this. It goes in this order. No More Mr. Nice Guy, The Married Man's Sex Life Primer, When I Say No, I Feel Guilty, The Predatory Female, A Field Guide to Dating in the Marriage Divorce Industry. I think that's more like, anger, rage bait stuff. I don't think you necessarily need that. And then The Tactical Guide to Women by Sean T. Smith, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. He's a good dude. So The Tactical Guide to Women. Then after all of that, then read The Rational Male. Okay. So you guys think you're red pill, but you need to at least, in my opinion, read No More Mr. Nice Guy and When I Say No, I Feel Guilty. When I Say No, I Feel Guilty is it just gives you the tools necessary to be assertive, to communicate assertively, and to set and enforce boundaries, right? Which is critical. All right, guys, before we get too far into this, be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. And be sure to sound off in the comments, because I'm going to be bringing up a lot of these exercises. Which it requires me to ask questions of you. So when I ask questions, I want you guys to sound off in the chat, like with your own experiences. Okay. And don't be afraid. This is a safe space. Okay. We're in the trust tree. All right. We're in the trust tree. All right. And then, if you want to keep things anonymous, feel free to change it up a little bit. It is a public forum. Guys, send super chats. Super chats help support the show probably more than anything else. All right. So the first one, I have a whole PDF of these, so we're going to jump around. It's not going to be, I don't have anything scripted here. So we're going to start with breaking free activity number 1. Hey, Robert, welcome to the show. Yes, heal first, then strengthen. Yeah. Oh, When I Say No, that's next on my list after RPT book. What's RPT? What's that one? Anyway, so the first one is breaking free activity 1. Okay. And I'm not going to go 1 through 10. There's 46 of these exercises. So I'm going to do like a couple, and then we're going to skip ahead a little bit. And I'm also not going to do all 46 because we don't have that kind of time today. But definitely read the book. No More Mr. Nice Guy. Okay. So breaking free activity number 1, write down 3 possible safe people or groups that might be able to provide support for you in your recovery from nice guy syndrome. If no one comes to mind, get out the telephone directory. This is old school. Go on Google. Get out the telephone directory and look up counselors or support groups in the phone book. Write down 3 names and phone numbers and call them when you finish this podcast. If you are employed by a company with an employee assistant program, this is another resource. If you know someone who has been to therapy or a support group, ask them for information. If you have access to the internet, you can search for 12-step groups or support groups. Guys, this is a good time to plug the beer club. You can join the beer club for this. Okay. Beer club's good for this. All right. It's only $10 a month. We're actually meeting up on the 7th here. That's the next meetup. So that's the first activity, guys. So think of 3 possible safe people or groups that might be able to provide support for you in your recovery from nice guy syndrome. Okay. All right. You don't have to do the beer club, but it's a resource for you. All right. We're going to skip down to activity number 3. Let's see. Activity number 3. By the way, guys, so I found this PDF for this episode, right? Because I was listening to the audiobook. I was like counting up like all the breaking free exercises. I was like, man, am I gonna have to go back through the audiobook to get 10 of these? And then I just Googled it though. And sure enough, Dr. Robert Glover has a PDF available for this. So you guys can just get the PDF if you Google for it, but I highly recommend reading the book because some of these don't make sense unless you've read the book, which is why I'm skipping around. All right, breaking free activity number 3. Write down or illustrate the messages you've received in your family that seem to imply that it wasn't okay for you to be who you are just as you were. Share these experiences with a safe person or group, right? And as you do, make note of your feelings. Do you feel sad? Do you feel angry, lonely, numb? Share this information as well. The purpose of this assignment is to name rather than to blame. Okay. Because a lot of people like to point fingers, right? Oh, I wouldn't be so effed up if it wasn't for mom. Right. But it's not meant for that. It's not meant to like point the fingers, right? It's meant for you to identify where like your bad programming, where did the bad programming come from? And when you identify it and you understand your feelings, that's when you can become aware of it, right? Awareness is key to recovery from any of the stuff and for changing your behavior and changing your mindset about things. right? A lot of us, we just get like, we have an emotional reaction to something. It's because of our programming, our paradigm, our subconscious mind, right? But once you become aware of it, that's when you could be like, no, change that. My guest on Monday was Mark Singh. He's an NLP guy. He says when you have something like that, you go, erase that, right? That's a command to your brain to get that out of your head, right? Negative thoughts and feelings. Okay. So the purpose of this assignment is to name rather than blame, right? Blaming will keep you stuck. Naming the childhood experiences that led you to believe that it was not a safe or acceptable thing for you to be just who you are or were will allow you to replace these messages with more accurate ones and help you change the nice guy script. And I wrote down here an example because I was trying to think like, and I know there's probably more in this. I know there's probably more of this, but I was having a hard time thinking of it. But I do distinctly remember one time I must have been 5. He-Man. Do you guys remember He-Man? He-Man was like all the rage, right? He-Man was all the rage, and I wanted to be He-Man. And so my grandpa was in town. My grandpa Bauer, right? My dad's dad was in town. He's never in town. I can count on one hand how many times I saw Grandpa Bauer growing up because he lived in New Jersey. He didn't like coming out to Colorado because the altitude and, he had a hard time breathing at high altitude. At least that was his excuse. And so my grandma would come out once a year, but he rarely came out. Right. So I had like no relationship with my grandpa, no real one anyway. And the one time he does come out, I'm like 5 and I'm playing around like kids do. I go and I take my shirt off, right? Because He-Man don't wear a shirt. He's ripped. And then I take 2 belts and I cross them across my chest. Like I'm, I've got the He-Man, outfit on. And I have my toy He-Man sword and I come running out to the living room with no shirt on with 2 belts strapped across me. My grandpa in a booming voice goes, "Where's your shirt? Put your shirt on." Right? To this day, I remember that, it's like, oh, I can't be a kid. I can't be a kid, There was like things like that, right? Can you guys think of anything where you were doing something and you were sort of like lambasted or shamed or told like, don't be that way or don't do that made you feel insecure about being who you are, right? See, I'm not the only He-Man guy. You did the same thing. Hell yeah, bro. That's perfectly natural behavior. I see. Yes, RP Thor. Yes. Yeah, his book's good, man. Dominant Masculine Presence. Highly recommend it. Thor's recording the audiobook now for my book, for Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. It sounded pretty awesome. It's like you guys are really, damn, I didn't realize Paul had such a masculine voice. I don't. I hired somebody. Okay, so that was activity number 3, right? Think of something that your parents or somebody growing up said that kept you from being who you are, right? Feeling ashamed for liking the things that you like, right? Here we go. I was hitting on girls by age 12. I was told to stop or I'd get suspended from school. Yeah. I always had little girlfriends going all the way through elementary school. I had a girlfriend every year, all the way through elementary school. Like, and my parents didn't try to squash that. And I'm grateful for that, because that a lot of times that happens. They're like, oh, that's bad. Yes, that's bad. And my mom was literally like, oh, it's just a part of growing up. It's just a part of growing up. Like she didn't shame me for that, but a lot of guys did get that treatment from their parents, it's unfortunate. So I mentioned beer club already, guys. Join the beer club. It's only $10 a month. It's good for this kind of stuff, right? It's a group of guys. You can talk about this kind of stuff and, we're a support group. Largely, it's a very active group. Okay. So we have a private Telegram community and the guys are posting crap in there all the time. And it largely is like memes and everyone's just having a good time. Occasionally guys will bring up things they're struggling with and all the other guys pile in with, like support. So it's a good place for that. If you don't have a good circle of guy friends, get in the beer club. Okay. It's necessary for our mental health. I'm going to play a commercial for that, and then we'll continue this conversation.
Here's a harsh truth that everybody gets upset about online when I say it. They get upset because of their ego investment into the fairy tale idea of love and partnership. They get upset because of their ego investment into the idea that their woman is their best friend, their confidant, and they think that love will conquer all, and that their woman will be there through thick and thin. The truth is that as a man, your woman is hardwired biologically and psychologically to want you to be her rock. It doesn't work the other way around. Women do not care about your struggles as a man. They may think they care. They may even want to care, but her evolutionary DNA will not let her care. If you bring her your problems, she will lose attraction for you over time, and she will leave. Now, whenever I talk about this, people lose their minds and start talking about men unaliving themselves. The faster that men learn that women don't care about our struggles, the faster we'll save the lives of men. Men off themselves because of their own ego investments in the Disney fairy tale lie. And when that fairy tale goes up in flames, they get zeroed out and they end things. Men do need a proper outlet for dealing with their problems, but going to their woman isn't the answer. Men need a tribe. They need a brotherhood. That's why I created my beer club. It's a monthly virtual hangout for men only. It's a place where men can be men. It's a place where men can talk about guy stuff without having to worry about offending women. It's a place where they can go without having to worry about being called toxically masculine. It's a place where they can go to solve their problems. Because men solve problems, women cause problems, you dig? Visit beer.comeonmanpod.com. That's beer.comeonmanpod.com to sign up.
Yeah. Oh, and when you guys sign up now, you actually get a free EPUB version of my new book. So you don't have to get the Kindle edition. If you have an e-reader, you can sign up for the club, get a good circle of guy friends, and then read the book, right? For freezies. What else was I going to say too? I think that was it. We have some super chats, guys. Let me get to these real quick, because I really appreciate these super chats. Brother Nathan, $2 super chat. You get this. You get this. Who's the master? Yeah. Thank you for that. We've got Robert Collins. What is that? 5 pounds. Keep up the great work, brother. Thank you. You get this.
Talking about whores, people. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And then we have CW with a $5 super chat. No More Mr. Nice Guy was also my first book in the men's space, and it was a huge eye-opener. Looking forward to Beer Club next week. Hell yeah. You get...
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Definitely fucks. All right. Thank you so much for those. Okay. So we did activity 1, activity 3. We're going to jump down to activity 4. Activity 4 is, let's see, ask the members. So ask you guys about attachments you use to try to get external approval. External approval. The following are just a few of the responses. Look over the list. Know any of the ways in which you seek approval. Add to this list any behaviors that are uniquely you. Write down examples of each. Ask others for feedback about the ways in which they see you seeking approval, right? So how am I seeking approval? Paul, you're on social media way too much. All right. Having one's hair just right. Being smart. Are you acting like you're, a know-it-all because you're seeking approval from people? Having a pleasant, non-threatening voice. Looking unselfish. You ever do that? Where you act like you go out of your way to act like you're not the selfish one? No, all I do is give, okay? All I ever do is give. All I ever do is the nice things for people. Are you trying to be different from other men, right? Being different from other men is approval-seeking behavior. Now that you see that very commonly, right? You see that very commonly where guys are like, they start getting mad at players. And I saw, this is a good one. Ric Flair just recently got in trouble for his promo that he cut on Wednesday because he told the audience, he told all the ladies in the audience, 18 to 28, come to my hotel after the show. No boyfriends. What do we say? Like no boyfriends, no condoms or something. Something like that, right? And because of all the woke people, they're cutting that segment in the recording for like upcoming episodes, and he's getting like chastised for it, right? Well, then you got these like white knights in the crowd going, "Oh, why is he sexualizing women?" It's like those guys are trying to be nice guys to try to not be a jerk. I'm not like those other guys. I'm nice, right? That's 97% of dudes out there. So you are literally like every other guy out there, bro, right? The top 3% of dudes embrace their sexuality. They own it, right? Do you want to bang chicks or not? Right? Of course you're going to sexualize chicks. You want sex from them. That's why we talk to pretty girls. Okay? Own that shit. Let's see here. Staying sober. Are you staying sober because you're seeking approval from people? Being in good shape, being a great dancer, being a good lover, never getting angry, making other people happy, being a good worker, having a clean car, dressing well, being nice, respecting women, never offending anyone, looking like a good father. These all can be approval seeking behavior, right? If you're not doing this because like you genuinely like it gives you self-gratification for being this way. Like if you're doing this because you're trying to put out some kind of facade so that other people don't judge you, that's the problem. You see what I'm saying? Let's see here. Yes, I am ingesting. It's got beta power and it's Skittles. Like how gay is this drink? Stop shaming me. Oh, I'm a stand-up comic. I want everyone's approval. Yeah. You at least want crowd noise, right? The worst is crickets. Let's see here. Mike says, I knew I was starting to do things right when a woman told me, God, you're just like every other guy. You're such an asshole, right? Like Royce says the best compliment a guy can have is when a woman says, you're such an asshole, but you're like a lovable asshole, right? Like that's the best compliment you could get from a chick, right? Because you're engaging her vagina and you're engaging her love feelers, right? All right. Can you guys think of anything else that you do for approval, right? Approval. I used to really want to do a good job at work so that like I would get the attaboys from my boss, right? I would get the attaboys from the clients I was supporting, stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of important when your job is like a customer service based job to provide a good experience to people. But if you're doing it just so you can hear people, that's kind of goes into covert contract stuff. Where are we at here? We're on activity number 5 now. Activity number 5. Here's a question, guys. Here's a question for you, or it's 2 questions. 2 questions for you. If you did not care what people thought of you, how would you live your life differently? Think about that for a minute and sound off in the chat. If you did not care what people thought of you, how would you live your life differently? Let me know what you think in the chat. The next question I want you to think about, if you were not concerned with getting the approval of women, how would your relationships with the opposite sex be different? Okay. If you were not concerned with getting the approval of women, how would your relationships with the opposite sex be different? Think about this for a minute. Sound off in the chat when you think about it, right? Oh, I got called an F-boy for the first time in Vegas too. Yes, my man. Yes, the internet is filled with white knight simps, sadly. Lee says, I like I am now. I know people are talking about me doing stand-up comedy and wrestling. Okay. Yeah. Dude, that is fucking awesome though. Like, that is awesome that you're doing the wrestling thing and you're sharing like your workout trainings on TikTok and stuff like that. Dude, I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm fucking loving those. Let's see here. CW says, I used to put so much effort into people pleasing, but now I've really cut back on that. Now I live life with less F's to give, and it surprisingly works. Dude, it's weird because right, we're when you're trying to get approval from women, right? If you're approval seeking from women, it makes you less attractive, and it actually pushes women away and it turns them off, right? But the more you don't give a shit, the more women actually like you. They feel more safe and secure in the relationship because you're acting like a man, right? You're acting like a man. You don't need her approval. I don't need your approval, right? And then they're like, oh, this guy's strong. You know, this guy's strong. He makes me feel safe and secure, and he gives me the vajingles, right? It's good. It's good. All right. All right, guys, let's see here. This might be close to the last little bit of plugging here. Follow me on social media, guys, if you don't already. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com. I will mail you some stickers, including a not a nice guy sticker, right? Which I put on the back of my phone, right? Which I get asked about a lot. What do you mean you're not a nice guy? Fuck you. Fuck you. That's exactly what that means. Get the stickers. You also get 20 dating app openers, and you get a free chapter of my book, all just for signing up for the email list. If you guys don't want the stickers, just in the address field, just put don't want stickers. Okay. That's okay. Just, I get annoyed when, especially you international bastards that are like, you put an address down and it's written wrong. And then I get a return envelope from international, like the international stamps are expensive. Okay. And then let's see here. We've got the book, guys. The book, you can get it on the Kindle edition for only 99 cents. Like I said, you can get it for free if you sign up for the beer club too. The paperback and the hardcover and the special edition will all be out December 11th. It's already an Amazon #1 bestseller. So definitely get that, guys. And then check out the Practical Law of Attraction course, loa.comeonmanpod.com. It's a mindset course. A lot of the stuff is a lot of your nice guy behavior is subconscious programming. And I talk about how to rewire that, right? How to train your mind to think differently. Okay. And so this course is largely a mindset course. But the thing is, once you set your mind to stuff, like stuff starts showing up for you, right? We get what we focus on in life. So I talk a lot about that in the course. So check that out sometime. And let's go back to this. All right, let's do activity number 9. We're going to skip ahead here. Activity number 9. Scroll down here. Activity number 9. Let's see here. Oh, think of good things that you can do for yourself, right? Be selfish. What are good things that you could do for yourself? What's something that you could do for yourself, right? Write this down, create a list. Think of good things that you could do just for you. Okay. Don't bring anybody else along. It's just for you, man. This is just something that you like to do. Okay. Put the list where you'll see it and choose at least one thing per day to go do for yourself. One good thing that I did for myself this year was I went on a motorcycle ride to Sturgis by myself. I didn't bring Nurse Chick with me. It was a lone trip, right? It was long as hell. I'm not going to make that long ass trip again I would do it again by myself, but it would be like a 3-day leg, right? It's too long to ride in one day on a motorcycle. I was saddle sore, right? But I did that for myself. I went to go hang out with Cappy this year by myself. I actually went last year too to hang out with Cappy by myself. And it was good. You know, it's good for my mental health. Gave me time to think. It was kind of a selfish thing to do, but I needed it, and it was fun. It was fun, right? That was one thing that I did. What are other things that you could do that are selfish, that it's just for you, man? You're just doing it for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're just doing it for your own enjoyment. Yes, please give a like for the video. Damn it. Let's see here. CW says, I put the stickers on my truck's back window. Looks good. Cool. Thanks, man. Hey, good morning, Hank. Good morning. How's the liquor store going? Hank just got himself bought himself a liquor store. He's an entrepreneur. So think of one good thing that you could do for yourself, guys. Okay. Drop it in the chat. Or let me ask you this. What's one thing that you already do for yourself? Right? Do you like once a week or twice a week go to the cigar lounges? That's one thing that Cappy does. Cappy by himself likes to go to cigar lounges, right? He leaves his girl at home and he's like, I'm going out, right? And he goes to the cigar lounges by himself. He likes doing that. There's two main cigar lounges that Cappy goes to, and he's got friends, like social circles in each of those. Because every time I've gone with him to, and I don't smoke cigars, but every time I've gone with him to cigar shops, like he knows everybody there. It's crazy. You're like, Cappy? You're talking about Aaron Clary, like the grumpiest guy on the internet, the guy that broke down the numbers in A World Without Women. Like, are we talking about the same guy? Yes. Yes. He's actually a very friendly, sociable guy. And he's got a girl that's been with him for 20 years that absolutely adores him. Okay. Like, he's like this MGTOW guru, but he like, he's a total pimp. Let's see here. Let's see. I am singing and playing at the open mic nights around here. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Do that for you, man. That's gotta bust you out of a shell too, man. To be able to get up on stage and to be able to get up and do a podcast 3 times a week. Yeah. That's good, man. That's awesome. Oh, my liquor store is next to a cigar lounge, so I went all around. Nice. I like it. And you'll be open in a few weeks. Okay, cool. I'm excited about that. You know what, Hank? This is off topic, but the liquor store up the street from me, right in Cedar Edge, Colorado, they have Kirkland signature Crown Royal, basically, right? They have Canadian blended whiskey that's got the Kirkland signature label on it. If you didn't know, that's Costco's like house brand, but it's made by Crown Royal. It's like half the price, right? It's like $20 a bottle. Like, get that for your business, man. It'll fly off the shelf. It's like high-end whiskey at like half the price. It's anyway, I digress. Okay. Activity 10. Oh, this is fun. Activity 10, make a list of positive affirmations about yourself. Write them on a note cards and place them where you will see them regularly. Change the cards often so they stay fresh. When you read affirmations, close your eyes and fully embrace the meaning of the words. Observe any tendency of your mind to reject the affirmations in favor of old, deeply held beliefs, right? So basically, like when you say affirmations, you really want to feel it. You actually want to get up in your feelers with these affirmations, like express the feelings, right? It's okay. Men are emotional meatbags. Okay. But men have to learn how to control it, right? Not repress it, control it. Okay. And men emote differently than women, but we have emotions. Okay. But when you say these affirmations, you need to believe it. You need to believe it's already happened, and you need to feel the emotion of it already being true. Okay. That's the key to affirmations really sticking. Okay. So he's got a couple of affirmations here for you, right? I am lovable just as I am. I am perfectly imperfect. My needs are important. I am a strong and powerful person. I can handle it. I love this one, right? Like if stuff starts spinning out of control, I sometimes will take a deep breath and go, I can handle it, right? He talks about that in Dating Essentials for Men. He says, look, you've handled everything in your world up until this point. Whatever's going on with you right now, you can handle that too. So I can handle it, right? People love and accept me just as I am. It is okay to be human and make mistakes. I am the only person I have to please. So these are some examples. Now, the funny thing about this, right, is this is all law of attraction stuff. This is stuff I teach in my law of attraction course. Okay. And if you listen to or read Dating Essentials for Men, he talks about this kind of stuff. He talks about, an attitude of gratitude. He talks about, the universe, like if you're not grateful for the things you already have, the universe won't bless you 1,000-fold with the things that you want, right? That's all law of attraction stuff. So I was like, so when I talked to Dr. Robert Glover, I asked him about that. I'm like, are you a law of attraction guy? I want you guys to listen to this. This is hilarious because I was shocked by his answer.
Of the secret, like it's law of attraction stuff. And I love that stuff. And so I just wanted to ask, like, are you like in a law of attraction type of guy?
Oh my goodness. Are we going to go there? All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go there.
I hate that shit. I think it's bullshit.
Really?
Okay. But let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, that whole, and let me sort this out. Where I got the whole attitude of gratitude from is 12-step program.
Okay.
And because, they have all kinds of platitudes, and I was in a 12-step program when I first started developing my own gratitude practice, because I actually started going to a 12-step program when I split with my second wife. Mm-hmm. And I was hurting. I was a mess. I was addicted to her. And I just thought I was going to like 3 12-step groups for sex addicts a week, not because I was a sex addict. I just needed to be in a men's group. So that's where I went and found my men's group.
Sure.
And I was actually writing another piece. No More Mr. Nice Guy was just about to come out, and I was writing a class to support it. And I was trying to write a lesson about gratitude. And it was just a struggle. And I thought, I don't think I have an abundance attitude. I have a deprivation attitude. Mm-hmm. Now, here's where I am. Here's where I don't like the secret and law of attraction. There's a couple, 3 reasons. One is it is based on a book called The Law of Attraction. And if you've actually read it, I had to quit reading it because it actually started making my brain want to blow up. Because it basically says every thought you think you're going to manifest. Mm-hmm. And which means, oh no, I just had a negative thought. Am I going to fucking manifest that into the world? I got paranoid reading the book. Okay. Now, the book was written by a husband-wife team where the woman basically channeled an entity from another sphere and blinked her eyelids while her husband treated that as a code and wrote the book. That's where the wisdom came from. And then the gal that wrote The Secret and did the movie about it, that couple was in the first version of The Secret. They're not. Why? Because they had a falling out with each other and they don't talk to each other anymore. So she cut them out of later versions of The Secret.
Interesting.
And I'm thinking if this whole manifestation law of attraction thing works so well, they could have figured out how to get along with each other.
You'd think, yeah.
You would think. And what I dislike most about The Secret is how friggin' materialistic and narcissistic it is.
Sure.
I'm going to visualize this man putting some pearls around my neck, or I'm going to visualize this amazing house with a swimming pool. And then there it is. It manifested. And I've listened to, what is this? Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Can't think of the author's name. He's really into the whole manifestation and the quantum physics of how you observe something. Now, here's what I don't like about The Secret and Law of Attraction. It takes, I think, some truth, some things that I think are truly valid, mixes them with materialism, pop psychology, and magic, and people like that. People, if you mix anything with magic. Oh, it's magic. If you think and grow rich. I've tried reading Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich 3 different times. I can't get through it. I can't. It just says, oh, just keep working long enough and it'll happen. And so but here's what I do believe.
Yeah.
Whatever our view of ourselves in the world is going to be true.
Mm-hmm.
If you see yourself in a certain way, that is going to be true. Because we'll act in accordance with our deepest held beliefs. We won't see anything that contradicts. We'll have confirmation bias. If I think, for example, I'm a fat, unattractive, or balding guy that no woman would ever want, I'm going to be a fat, balding, unattractive guy that women never want. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to act that way to reinforce. It's going to be a self-perpetuating belief. I'm going to view the world that way. So if I go like hit on an attractive woman and she doesn't have interest in me, I'm going to see there's proof. I'm a fat, balding, unattractive man that nobody wants. But what I don't notice is the women that are trying to get my attention, are flirting with me. You said you got with a woman that was really bold. And women don't tend to be super bold, but they do send more signals of interest than men do. Right. They just do it in different ways. Like I said, having a jealous Latina wife, I've learned to now see signs of women's interest I used to not even see or ignore. That when the waitress kind of bends over and gives you a cleavage shot while she puts something on it, I used to think, oh, she just doesn't know her boobs are hanging out. Yeah, they know it. They know their boobs are hanging out. It's a cleavage shot. Look at my boobs. And when they kind of lean up against you a little bit and you're thinking, oh, she's just being friendly for a tip. No, that's not what it is. And so the point is, what we believe to be true will be true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so if we have a deprivation view of the world, that I'm never going to find love, the goodies always go to everybody else. We have resentment for the good things that people have. We just sit and be miserable that, that's going to be our world. It is going to manifest. And I get up every morning at 7:00 and go outside, take a cup of coffee, take my pit bull with me. We have lounge chairs right next to each other. We watch the sun come up, and I just meditate on gratitude for about the first 15 to 20 minutes of my day. Everything I'm grateful for. And it's amazing. My life isn't perfect. There's, I keep having issues with internet down here where it'll go out and be out for a week and I won't know when they're going to come fix it. And my whole job revolves around the internet. That's frustrating. It's stressful, but it's amazing when I just bring my attention back to not what isn't working, but to what I'm grateful for. Things seem to work out just fine. And so while I do believe what we believe will be true, how we see the world is how the world's going to believe, I'm still skeptical that thinking something is going to cause molecules to rearrange themselves and show up in a completely different way because I thought it.
Yeah.
I'm still a little skeptical.
I don't think that when I read books on it, that's not how I look at it either. I'm not like, I want a bicycle, like the idea of the kid getting a bicycle, right? It doesn't just magically appear here. That's not how any of this works, But if the kid's sitting around thinking, I'm never going to have a bike, I'm never going to have a bike.
Right. It's kind of like going back to the Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's an example in there where, he says, he wanted a bike. And his dad, the poor dad, said, "Oh, bikes are expensive. I don't know how we'll ever be able to afford one." But the rich dad, I think his friend's dad or whatever, said, "Yeah, let's figure out a way that you can get to work, start saving money, and put some money aside, and get a bike." So how we think about it is going to affect what does show up in our life.
It's funny. Because of that interview, I did an interview with John Sonmez from Bulldog Mindset, and then I talk about him in my course. But my friend Guy, who was at the time very skeptical on the law of attraction, that's what shaped my my reasoning for doing my course the way I did, which is without all the magical thinking. Because he talks about all this stuff. And he's like, I think law of attraction is nonsense, but literally he's explaining the psychology of the law of attraction. That's why it works. Right. Okay. But that's what I thought was funny, because he has all this stuff in his books, and he's like, I think law of attraction is nonsense. Like, okay, I think we're on the same page though. But love Dr. Robert Glover. Guys, if you need help with any of this stuff, I have coaching available, one-on-one coaching. There's 2 tiers available for that. So get that at gumroad.comeonmanpod.com. All right. So we have 2 more exercises, we have 4 more exercises. We're going to try to get through these relatively quickly. We have activity number 12. We're going to skip ahead to activity number 12. Breaking free activity number 12. Do you believe it is okay for you to have needs? Is it okay for you to have needs? I'm asking you this. Do you get in the chat? Be honest. Do you think it's okay for you to have needs? Do you believe people want to help you meet your needs? Do you think people want to help you with that? And do you believe this world is a place of abundance? See, this goes back to him not thinking about law of attraction, but law of attraction is all about abundance, right? Yeah, most people don't want to help. I still have a hard time with this. I have a hard time trusting people to do a job that I need them to do, because most people are inherently unreliable. They really are, right? I think that people want to help, but a lot of times they're too lazy, or they bite off more than they can chew. And it's that's frustrating to me. right? So a lot of times I find like, hey, if I want it done, I'm going to do it myself, Um, but there are people that will help you meet your needs, right? If you have a good group of boys, right, they'll usually help you out, right? Um, yeah. So do you believe people want to help you? And do you believe this world is a place of abundance? You guys believe this world is a place of abundance? Or do you guys think it's all lack and limitation? What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. One thing I will see where I see this is funny, right? Because there's a lot of dating coaches out there, lots of them. Like throw a pebble and you'll hit a goddamn dating coach these days. The funny thing is about dating coaches is they teach guys to have an abundance mindset when it comes to women, right? There's another bus every 15 minutes, right? There's always another woman. Hey, you know what? If this girl ain't acting right, drop her. There's always another chick, right? But they are super competitive with other dating coaches. It's like, bro, there's 4 billion dudes on this planet, right? There's plenty of dudes to go around that we can help. You know what I mean? So like, I love having other dating coaches on, picking their brains, having you guys join in the discussion and getting basically free advice from these guys, because like sometimes they'll bring up perspectives I never thought of before, or they'll say things in a way that will resonate with you better than what I would say, right? And I just want to help other dudes. So I'm like, hey, if one guy likes a coach that I've had on my show better than me and they go with that guy's coaching program, cool. I just want to help other dudes. You know what I mean? So I have an abundance mindset even when it comes to coaching clients. I'm like, nah, there's plenty of dudes to go around. Some guys might resonate with me more. Some guys might resonate with, I don't know, Logan DeWong better, right? Because he's a younger cat, right? Some people might resonate with Mark Singh better, right? Whatever, go with who speaks to you and you think that is going to help you accomplish your goals, right? There's a bunch of money just lying around out there. I just need to convince others to give it to me. That's right. Gotta learn sales, brother. Gotta learn sales. All right, let's do another one. Activity number 13. Identify at least one covert contract between you and a significant other. What do you give and what do you expect in return? This is huge, right? This is like one of the biggest concepts guys in the red pill space need to learn. Because there's some stuff I disagree with in Dr. Robert Glover's book, right? He talks about like vulnerability and being vulnerable. Like that's kind of outdated. That's kind of, I don't know, sort of not effective strategy in my opinion, right? But covert contracts is something you have to learn to identify and get over, right? So what do you expect in return? And then share this information with another person. Ask the person how it feels to respond to an unclear agenda. Now, I'll tell you about one I talk about on the podcast a lot. I used to buy Red Pill Chick flowers every month for the entire 4.5 years that we dated. And I would have them sent to her work, and so that she would get the brownie points for the, with her coworkers. And like, I was doing that to try to get to get the brownie points, right? I was trying to do that to get the brownie points. It wasn't because I liked doing it necessarily. But I was trying to get something in return from that. Right. And I learned that it was meaningless. I did that for I could have saved so much money. I could have put that in my Acorns account, but I didn't, and it was something that I had to learn. So what are some covert contracts, things that you're either doing now or you've done in the past that you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Right. Let's see here. Me and my boss, I expect a raise for simply kicking ass. It's not true. I have to you have to ask for it. Yeah. Largely with raises, you have to go ask for it. And if your boss isn't willing to give you that raise, know that you could automatically give yourself a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 raise by going somewhere else. Right? Because employers are more willing to give a new employee more money than they are to give you a raise to keep you there. It's kind of a messed up system we have, messed up psychology. All right. Activity number 14. Identify 2 or 3 examples of your caretaking behavior. So caretaking behavior is where you sort of dote on other people, right? You just, you go out of your way. You're like, I don't need this. I don't have my needs met. But I'll go and I'll fix my girlfriend's car. And when she tries to do nice things for me, I say, no, 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 no. You don't need to do that for me. And then you just go around like handling all of her stuff. And you're basically a workhorse, and you put yourself in that position, right? That's kind of caretaking behavior. Or everyone around you, you're the guy that's, hey, I'll help you move this weekend. Hey, I'll help you with your roofing. Hey, I'll help you. You're like Mr. Helper, right? You're trying to be the go-to guy that everyone goes to, and you just help everybody out, and then you don't ever get your needs met, right? That's kind of caretaking behavior, right? So identify 2 or 3 examples of your caretaking behavior. In order to stimulate awareness of your caretaking, do one of the following for a period of 1 week. 1, go on a caretaking moratorium, because nice guys have a difficult time differentiating between caring and caretaking. Stop giving completely, right? Except to young, dependable children. Like if you're a dad, you have to take care of your kids, but tell people what you are doing so they won't be confused. Observe your feelings and other people's reactions. And then 2, consciously try to caretake more than you already do. Try to consciously caretake more than you already do. As odd as this assignment may sound, it is a very effective way to create awareness for your caretaking behavior. So pay attention to how you feel and how other people react to you. So he's talking about just double down on it, go all in. Like it's almost like when you're trying to, when your parents catch you smoking and they sit you in a closet and they go, you have to smoke this entire carton of cigarettes and right now. And then you smoke so many damn cigarettes that you like vomit. Like, I think that's what he's trying to do here, right? Let's see here. Oh, nice. Yeah, man. Let's see here. It is a bit of both. Abundance and scarcity exist simultaneously where I am concerned. Does it? Does it though? Does it, Ethan? I've been on a caretaking moratorium for like 3 years. All right, let's see here. I used to do that with my ex-wife, and I was doing it hoping she would respect me more than the little she normally showed. Yeah, and it didn't work, right? It didn't work. It's not effective. Okay, we've got 2 more. Oh no, we've only got 1 more, I think. Was that 14? That was 14. Okay, we only got 1 more, which is good because we're coming up on the hour here. We're going to skip ahead to activity number 20. Activity number 20. Come on. All right. So breaking free, activity number 20, some guidelines about expressing feelings. Okay. So this one's all about expressing your feelings. Okay. So it's good to actually express your feelings. And this is really important because it's all about communication, effective communication, right? It's not pointing the blame at people, but it's owning how you feel about something, right? So if your girl pisses you off and you're pissed off about something that she's done or whatever, this is how you it's absolutely okay to let her know, hey, I'm really pissed off. Like she goes and she borrows your car and she gets into a fender bender and you're absolutely livid about it. It's okay. That's normal. That's a normal emotion for that type of situation, right? So he says, these are some guidelines about how to express your feelings, right? Don't focus on the other person. Don't be like, you were making me mad. You are making me mad. Okay. Instead, take responsibility for what you are feeling. I am feeling angry. You understand? I am feeling angry. You're taking ownership of that. Do you see the difference there? So instead of you're making me mad, that's an external response, right? External cause. Whatever they're doing might be upsetting you, but it's you that's feeling upset about it. Okay. So you got to own that. You got to own that. I feel angry. Okay. Don't use feeling words to describe what you are thinking. Thor talks about this in Dominant Masculine Presence. Okay. This is a bad habit that I think a lot of us have, and it's just a language thing. It's just It's a language habit that we need to unlearn. And I struggle with this. Okay. This is something I struggle with. Don't use feeling words to describe what you are thinking. Okay. That's actually feminine language. All right. So, as in, I feel like Joe was trying to take advantage of me. Instead, pay attention to what you're experiencing in your body. Right. And for something like that, if you're thinking it, don't say I feel. Say I think Joe might have been taking advantage of me. Right. That you're thinking that, you're not feeling that. Right. He says, pay attention to what you're experiencing in your body, right? I'm feeling helpless and frightened. So instead of, I feel like Joe is trying to take advantage of me, you could think about how you feel about that, right? And he says, like, I'm feeling helpless and frightened, right? And he says, in general, try to begin feeling statements with I rather than you, right? Because you is placing blame and I is taking ownership. Do you understand? What's this? Noted. I basically treat her the same way she treats me, as I would show interest in her less than she would show me. Is that working for you? Is that working? All right. Let's see here. Aversion therapy. What's aversion therapy, Phil? All right. That's it, right? So there's so those were 10 exercises from No More Mr. Nice Guy. There's 46 of these. There's 46 of these. I highly recommend you guys read that book multiple times. Like I said, I didn't even realize that there was 46 exercises until I read it my third time. And I'm sure there's all sorts of stuff that I still don't understand a lot about that book, because we only retain about 10% of what we read. So if you really want to master it, you got to read it at least 10, 15 times, right? This is one of those books that should be on your, I recommend be on your repeat reading list. Okay. Not every book is a repeat. Like I read Mark Manson's Models. A lot of people love that as like a dating book. I thought it was okay, but it's not on my multi-read list, right? The biggest thing in that book taught me about like neediness and not being needy and how that's unattractive. Like, okay, cool. Got it. Got it. There's other dating books that I liked better, but whatever. That might be one that's on your multi-read list, right? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Are you talking about what I was talking about when it comes to like smoking all the cigarettes at once? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see what you're saying now. All right, that's all I got this episode, guys. Be sure to tune in to Rule Zero tomorrow. I don't know who's hosting, so keep an eye on social media for that announcement. After Rule Zero, tune into the Dragon Ship. Thor's hosting. We're going to be talking about why the age gap works. I'm pretty sure we've already done an episode on this, right? But it's always fun to talk about age gaps, and that's always fun. No more super chats there, but guys, be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications if you haven't done so already. Thanks to everybody that sounded off in the live. That helps these go by much smoother. If you guys are watching on the replay, drop a comment below. Thanks to everyone that sent super chats. I appreciate it. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list, guys. You get a free chapter of my book now. You get 20 dating app openers, and I'll also mail you some stickers. If you don't want the stickers, just put don't want stickers in the address field. That's cool. My book is going to be available on December 11th in paperback, hardcover, and a special edition. You can get autographed copies. They're going to be available on Gumroad. I've already got that set up on Gumroad, and I've ordered some author's copies, so they should be here. The paperback should be here next week. So the paperbacks autographed are going to be the same price as Amazon. The hardcover is going to be cheaper than Amazon. So if you want a hardcover book, get an autographed version of it. It's going to save you some money. Okay. Check out the Practical Law of Attraction course. We could fix your abundance, your abundance and scarcity thinking there, Ethan, if you take the course. Join the beer club, guys. The next meetup is next Thursday. Next Thursday on the 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's a good group of dudes. If you need to work through any of this nice guy behavior stuff, beer club's an outlet for that. And then I also offer one-on-one coaching available at gumroad.comeonmanpod.com. Oh, I have the nice guy syndrome. Dude, I'm a recovering nice guy. I say it all the time. I am a recovering nice guy. I'm a recovering nice guy. It's just what it is. There's no shame in it. We all have to learn effective and what's what's effective and what's ineffective in our lives, right? And unfortunately, having nice guy behavior is not effective at anything, anything in life. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys on Rule Zero. Where the hell is this? We'll see you guys on Rule Zero tomorrow morning.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.